This is the story of an orphan named Lu Shu. He's not your usual orphan, rather, he's a metahuman adapting to the changes occurring in himself and the world around him as the magical era starts. He embarks on a journey with his adorable young sister, Xiaoyu, to rise above the ranks. Episode 1. A woman is seen carrying a baby late at night while it is storming outside. Due to the presence of suspicious-looking men, she hides somewhere and sings a lullaby to her baby. She claims she is unable to return home. Fortunately, a kind lady offers to provide her with overnight refuge for the sake of the baby. The mother hands her infant to the lady, saying that she is going to get some medicine and is never seen again. There is a significant time jump of about 18 years. Some sort of Chinese event is going on and we meet our main character, Lu Shu, hanging out with a girl who appears to be his sister, Xiaoyu. They both leave to see a show. Lu Shu makes his way to the front where he miraculously absorbs the performer's fire. He briefly teleports to another realm and then returns. No one appears to have noticed anything. However, it is worth noting that he is wearing the same pendant as the infant from the first scene. Lu Shu is confused about the performer and his abilities. When the event is over, his sister wants to meet the performer so they may learn fire skills from him and try to make money from it. They sneak behind the scenes and observe a crime scene. A tranquilizer is fired at the performer. Lu Shu and his sister panic and are apprehended. The agents explain that the act was unapproved, which is why they are interrogating the performer, but Lu Shu is skeptical. He makes the typical, quote, "We were looking for the restroom" excuse, and the agents let them leave. As soon as they go outside, they are approached by a mystery person named Zhe Wei, who inquires about what happened backstage. Lu Shu ignores him while walking past him as if he doesn't exist. He examines the entire incident and comes to the conclusion that the fireman was using powers, which enraged a certain group. Lu Shu wants to figure out what's going on, but his line of thought is interrupted by Xiaoyu. She apparently escaped from an orphanage and is now living with Lu Shu, so they are not related. According to the news, people with superpowers are appearing everywhere. Meanwhile, Lu Shu walks outside to grab some instant noodles for a whining Xiaoyu. On his way, he recalls his days in the orphanage when Xiaoyu was always there for him. Preoccupied with his thoughts, he gets run over by the truck and bleeds on the road while his mother's lullabies start playing in the background. His body levitates in the air while his necklace illuminates. A surge of power travels through his entire body, and he awakens as if nothing had occurred. He feels no pain and wonders whether he has gained superpowers or something. He then casually goes into the grocery store with his face covered in blood, and he discovers that every time he instills unpleasant feelings in the other person, his score rises as if he were playing an RPG. He gives the noodle to Xiaoyu and heads to the shower. A menu page appears before his eyes and takes him to a different universe where the lullaby starts playing again. He realizes he has really hit the jackpot. Later that night, he learns that someone ignited a fire in the city center. He leaves the house on instinct and encounters some men in black. However, he is afraid because now that he has abilities, he knows he is on their radar as well. Episode 2. Fortunately, he is smart enough to know how to put on a dumb face. His excuse works just like the last time. Once home, Lu Shu wonders why his instincts led him to the rooftop where those guys were headed, as if he can feel them. Back home, Xiaoyu refuses to believe that Lu Shu has any superpowers. In his room, he wonders why he has no proof of his power. From the scores he had gathered so far, he buys another item that looks like some sort of spiritual energy. He eats it, gets teleported into another universe like usual, and returns with a new ability unlocked. He tests it out and realizes that he can lift his entire bed with just one hand, which makes him determined to earn more points. The next day, Lu Shu sells eggs to make money. Some of his classmates arrive to nag him about having to work to survive. However, Lu Shu has become an expert in annoying others. This is when he sees a girl named Chao, who makes his heart skip a beat. In the classroom, everyone is talking about people with superpowers. Lu Shu learns that there are some ranks for these awakened people, and currently Lu Shu is at rank F. However, he couldn't care less about ranks as long as he can make more points. Suddenly they hear the news that a boy from 7th grade, Li Qi, has unlocked superpowers. He had a fight with a teacher, and now he's on the roof threatening to push a faculty member down. Owing to his smart and quick thinking, Lu Shu distracts Li Qi while the police rescued the poor staff member. Back in class, Lu Shu is forced to give a blood sample along with everyone else, and he is not sure what purpose it serves. The next day in school, we find out that blood samples were taken to identify who the awakened students are. They will be provided a special classroom and a special teacher who turns out to be the same agent who tranquilized the fireboy. The name of the students are revealed, and everyone is shocked to find out Lu Shu's name is on it. The Chow Girl and Lu Shu's bully are also on the list. In the ending scene, we see an unknown supernatural hooded character take down an entire clan in an epic fight. Episode 3. The next episode opens with the introduction of a new classmate, Jiang Shu, who is also part of the special class meant for the awakened ones. He takes a seat beside Lu Shu. The special class's teacher, Xia Fei, teaches about unique chemicals. The newcomer turns out to be quite knowledgeable about supernatural phenomena. Xia Fei explains that the abilities of students can be assessed with the help of a chemical. The darker the chemical, the higher the quality of superpowers. He reveals that there are a total of 6 quality standards. It will be revealed tomorrow to which category each student belongs. He also states that with hard work and effort, low-quality ability users can climb up the ranks. Back home, Lu Shu wonders if the quality of his ability will be low because he had eaten the purification fruit. The game reveals that Lu Shu has used too many purification fruits, so now they will no longer appear in the draw. Instead, he gets a stinky tofu. Determined to draw something special, he spins and spins until there is a mysterious black aura and an object appears in Lu Shu's hands, and then accidentally seeps into Xiaoyu's consciousness. Just like Lu Shu, she enters into an unknown star plane that looks different from what we saw with Lu Shu. She comes back to her senses and exclaims that she is awakened. Lu Shu hopes his ability will make cash someday, or something better than stinky food. He starts telling the stinky tofu his game rewards him. Many people buy the tofu, doubling Lu Shu's income, although some people resent its smell, but that also helps Lu Shu as their negative feelings increases his score points that he can later use to buy more tofu to sell. He's truly a mastermind. He enjoys the next couple of weeks enjoying his business success. One day, he enters his star plane again and somehow summons a magical sword and brings it to the real world. Apparently, he has passed the first level and there are a total of 7 stellar levels to pass. Meanwhile, Xia Fei teaches the students a new method called the Union of Two Aspects, with which they can obtain enormous strength with the help of some spiritual stones. The next day, the old man tries to recruit Lu Shu again by showing his dazzling swordsmanship, but Lu Shu couldn't be bothered. During the lunch break, Lu Shu finds out from Zhang about the Tianluo Foundation, which is home to a few of the strongest people in the country from a specific land. They appear to be setting a trap for the awakened. That night, Lu Shu senses a strange presence. A couple of people arrive in front of the house of the old swordsman. A boy enters the house, and it seems like he's a part of the Tianluo Di Wang organization and wishes to recruit the old man due to his splendid talent. The old man calmly declines the offer, calling Tianluo just a bunch of conquerors. At this response, the boy leaves with a clear threat. When he leaves, he catches Lu Shu peeping from the window, but chooses to ignore it. After realizing that the old man has relations with some of the really strong men, Lu Shu agrees to train with him. They both surprisingly get along quickly. Episode 4. The next day, everyone finds out that more awakened individuals are ganging up to commit crimes. Lu Shu tries taking quick glimpses at Chao, who has become the popular girl, even in the special class due to her high-quality abilities. The old man agrees to tutor Xiaoyu if Lu Shu trains under him. He brings some weights that Lu Shu must wear from now on to start his proper training. Lu Shu questions that since one of the magical techniques of the Dao Yang class can directly increase strength, then how come he has to train this much? The old man states that the person who created these techniques is known as Shi Shu Jin. He is an expert in the knowledge of superpowers, while Lu Shu zones out wondering about the identity of Shi Shu Jin. The old man states that when it comes to learning swordsmanship, he can't look for quick shortcuts. He commands Lu Shu to put on the lightest weights of 300 kilos. Lu Shu tosses the weights in the air, commenting that these are too lightweight. In response to the shocked expression on the old man's face, Lu Shu reveals that he has already awakened. The old man thinks for a while, and then grabs a paper from the table. He uses his superpowers on the paper, and turns it into something sharper than a sword. The energy from this paper cuts down an entire wall. He then asks Lu Shu to do the same air attack on his own using all his might. Lu Shu musters up all his strength, but fails multiple times. He trains until he gets it right. At the end of the training day, the old man tries to get a promise from Lu Shu that if he ever gains enormous strength, he will take responsibility for it and use it for the greater good. Lu Shu refuses and states that his only responsibility is to survive and look after Xiaoyu. The old man tells him to think again. However, we get an insight into the personality of Lu Shu. Despite all the hardships in his childhood, he has never been unhappy, he just doesn't want more responsibilities. The next day, in Lu Shu's absence, a mysterious man arrives. He's the same powerful guy that the old man had mentioned to Lu Shu during the training. Shi Shu Jin, Xiaoyu says something dumb that annoys the uninvited guest. Lu Shu notices that his score is increased since his star plane is connected with her. He starts running home sensing danger. Shu Jin comments that Lu Shu is too weak to be the old man's disciple. Shi Shu Jin then calmly and politely reminds the old man of Tian Luo's offer for him to join the organization before leaving. Later, the old man asks Lu Shu to check his power level again and hands him the chemical needed. Lu Shu runs the tests and finds out that his power level color is not on the instruction list. All Lu Shu knows is that it represents his star plane color. He tells the old man he is still on the low level and tries to discard the test results. At night, he passes the second stellar level and unlocks Ultra Defense, whereas Xiaoyu passes the first stellar level, although her star plane almost takes over her. It is revealed that she can summon dead animals with her superpowers. While they are enjoying dinner, the three bandits start wreaking havoc again, and Lu Shu and Xiaoyu leave the house to inspect the matter. Episode 5. They witness a group of 3 awakened criminals diligently fighting off some members of the Tian Luo organization. The latter succeeds in cornering the criminals, and soon the police arrive. Realizing the danger of the situation, Lu Shu sends Xiaoyu back home. He then enters the crime scene under some veil and observes the bulky leader of the criminals literally dragging his gang members out to escape. However, a member of Tian Luo uses a blood spell to render him motionless, but it's of no use. Soon Lu Shu gets caught in the crossfire and finds himself confronting the bulky dude. He summons that sword from his star plane and effortlessly crushes the bones of the latter, killing him as a result. Later that night, he takes Xiaoyu out to test her powers, and she manages to capture energy from the same dead culprit. Meanwhile, Tian Luo has arranged a meeting to find out Lu Shu's identity. They claim that he is at least sea level, therefore taking him in is the utmost priority where he may be. Little do they know that this sea level awakened expert is selling stinky tofus and earning points by getting on people's nerves. Episode 6. Xiaoyu randomly wakes up one night and materializes the energy of the culprit into an actual figure, scaring Lu Shu. She claims that not only can she control his body, but she can also see his memories. Apparently, before dying, he had hidden a huge sum of money in the nearby mountains, and Xiaoyu wants to go look for it. Lu Shu refuses to go along with her plan. She tries to emotionally manipulate him, but fails. At school, Lu Shu finds out that the Spirit Stones have arrived and their director is getting replaced. It appears that the new director is a B-level Tianluo member, Director Li, and Lu Shu recognizes him. The former also senses something in the crowd but chooses to ignore it. He then has a meeting with the awakened students to remind them of their responsibilities in the future and the spiritual stones. After that, he gives them the example of the mysterious guy who killed a D-level criminal, not knowing the guy is right in front of him. Later, Lu Shu receives 2 spiritual stones and plans on selling them. Director Li meets the old man because he thinks the mysterious C-level guy is from his association because he can wield a sword. He warns them of some skeletons that have resurrected out of nowhere from the ruins. Episode 7. The awakened students are called by the school to visit the ruins and inspect the situation, which will give them experience. Lu Shu trains in his star plane at night while annoying others during the day. Eventually, his class rep challenges him to arm wrestle but easily loses. Mist starts appearing from the mountaintops, indicating the arrival of skeletons. However, it is revealed that if someone obtains an object called the Eye Matrix, the skeleton will disappear. Everyone starts running downhill, where Lu Shu and Jiang Shu get separated. In the middle of the chaos, only Lu Shu has the guts to stand on his feet and slash the skeletons. He tells them to get out of his landscape as soon as possible and stays behind to deal with the monsters. Episode 8. While eliminating the targets left and right, Lu Shu comes across a flare that was shot down by a foreign student who Lu Shu believes is a spy. It is revealed that his suspicions are true, and the spy is here to plunder the treasures from the ruin. However, soon they get attacked by a herd of skeletons and they both start running for their lives. Lu Shu still manages to annoy the spy just to earn some points. They escape but find it hard to trust each other. The spy looks for opportunities to run away unnoticed, but Lu Shu doesn't let him. While replenishing his energy by eating food from the gacha game, he offers the rotten soup to the spy kid, which acts as the last nail in the coffin, and an epic duel begins. Unexpectedly, Lu Shu uses an attack he has never used before, and the spy kid starts bleeding. He then leaves and wanders the ruins for days, comes across fruits that he stores for later, and fights off beasts of the night. He runs until he reunites with the other students, who refer to him as their master, as he is the strongest. Lu Shu uses the moment to his advantage and shows off the fruits he collected on the way, refusing to give them any. Episode 9. Lu Shu leaves in search of the Eye Matrix and comes across a skeleton on a horse. He fights with it barehanded and manages to steal its long spear. Meanwhile, Tianluo spots a caravan of skeletons. They conclude that killing their leader will mess up the enemy, but their leader seems to have lost its weapon, which Lu Shu had stolen. Tianluo struggles in devising a strategy, and that's when Lu Shu arrives, carrying the spear, shocking everyone. He steals more of their weapons as if it were some walk in the park. Tianluo considers making him join their organization. Episode 10. Being as greedy as he is, Lu Shu starts selling weapons for cash and jewelry. Later that night, they encounter mysterious creatures that resemble dark energy and trigger the sword inside Lu Shu's realm, but he is unable to pull it out. The squad finally makes it to the core of the ruins, and Lu Shu meets the organization's leader, who appears to easily summon his sword that could cause blood loss to an average person. Soon, Director Li arrives with fruits for everyone. They plan on exploring the trench in the core the next morning, but that night, a group of spies departs to find the Eye Matrix themselves. Episode 11. All the ruckus causes Director Li to demonstrate his true strength, much to Lu Shu's shock. The former claims that it was all part of his plan to expose the spies. They all then travel underground to find the Eye Matrix before the enemy does. However, when they reach the bottom, all spies appear to have died. That's when the same dark energy forms from earlier attacks them again. It is revealed that the spies transferred their soul and energies to one person who is now astronomically strong and invisible. Apparently only Lu Shu can figure out his location. More creatures attack and Lu Shu escapes. The ghost spy tries to attack him, but the energies Lu Shu absorbed earlier counterattack. Episode 12. While everyone is busy fighting, Lu Shu steals more weapons. He's about to touch a special seal when a skeleton tries to stop him. As soon as he touches it, everyone turns to dust and gets revived back to Earth. However, there is no sign of Lu Shu and his classmates, including the bully, almost start mourning his death, but then he walks in laid in dazzling jewelry. He goes home to make up with Xiaoyu and inspects the seal he had taken from the realm. Meanwhile, Tianlu can't figure out who stole the eye matrix, aka the seal. They also intend on recruiting Lu Shu and Chao due to their splendid performance. Now that the world has finally returned to normal, Lu Shu plans on buying a house for Xiaoyu, because that's something they have always dreamt of having since their days in an orphanage. That's all for this video. Please make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more recaps on all your favorite anime shows. You don't want to miss out. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.